Hello again. Okay. We're coming up on episode. This is episode 4? Well, kinda. We kinda had a 1.5, so, but I believe, yeah, it's episode 4. One one in the 1 and 1.5 took care of kind of the arrival in Port Sirik. Episode 2 and 3 took care of rats in the basement, where we gained and lost. Excuse me, well, we gained 2 members of the party to make it 3, and then we lost one in combat to a giant rat. Good thing I screwed up and only put 1 giant rat in there. We're going on to episode 4, which I'm kind of dubbing In Memoriam. And what I'm kind of expecting for this scene is that we kind of take place in the aftermath of the fight with the giant rat and later Gostoslav in the basement rescuing Anna, the owner of the Lone Rose Inn. So, in old school fashion, we have Egil, who is a neutral aligned thief. Now, I don't believe Egil would steal from a friend or ally or party member, but I do believe he would absolutely kind of line his pockets with the with a dead party member's belongings. He did kind of take a look through our fallen fighters' possessions when after the battle was over. once the cleric and Anna had went back upstairs to kind of call for the authorities and such. But as they're kind of dealing with that, I'm thinking Egil knows that Martha Runeslayer left a lot of her belongings upstairs in her room, and he would probably know which room is hers. Now, a couple things here. One, I have shifted Martha into a new folder here under player characters called Graveyard. I think I mentioned during the very first episode that when I ran D&D back in the 80s and into the early 90s before we kind of switched over to AD&D 2nd edition. We actually, even in with AD&D 2nd edition, I would just I collected all the character sheets. I kind of kept everything with the books and such, and I think mostly in a folder or sometimes in the box itself, or the red box. And I kept everything there, and I also collected all the dead characters and kept them aside, and I called it my dead pile. Maybe I was a little bit of a bastard as a game master back then. I think I did run things a little more antagonistically, maybe, but I also ran things just to kind of have fun. And I would make up a lot of stupid, crazy NPCs and just be silly, and we were kids. We had a lot of fun. But I did create basically a dead pile, which I think, as an adult, I will dub my graveyard. So former party members, at least the dead ones, are going to end up here. Should we actually have a party member retire for some reason, I'll create a new folder maybe. But for now, we have the graveyard, where we have poor Martha Runeslayer, who didn't even make it beyond first level, didn't make it beyond the first battle of the campaign, and she fell to a giant rat, having her throat ripped out. That was the fun and the frustration sometimes of Dungeons and Dragons back in the old school days. So the way I see this scene playing out is while Berham, the cleric, and Anna are going to call for the authorities so that they can show up, I'm thinking Egil's going to slip upstairs and be like, I didn't know her that well. If she had anything of value, it would be in her room. So I'm thinking that's exactly what Egil's going to do. However, we're running this with Mythic. We have a chaos factor of 5. We need to see if something else happens. We need to test the scene. Chaos factor, I rolled the wrong die. We're dealing with a chaos factor of 6, so ignore that 5. And once again, the dice rolls in the way. We rolled a 9. Nope, it's going to go off as expected. So, in the Lone Rose Tavern, Egil slips upstairs. Berham and Anna are busy. There's, they've kind of cleared out what few people were in the tavern, just to deal with everything. Her bartender just probably freaking clubbed her over the head or something, tied her up, gagged her, threw her in the basement. Likely with the intention of trying to find out where, how to run the bar, where everything is, possibly where any hidden gold might be before he probably dealt with her. Now, a couple other things I wanted to deal with. I also created a new, actually I'm just going to kind of close a couple of windows that I don't need open here. Couple of things here. I also created just a Google Doc just to track party treasure. So this is stuff that hasn't been divided up yet. Not overly concerned at the moment, but just as a FYI for you and as a reminder to myself, I've got a party treasure Google Doc kind of accumulating, so which currently doesn't have a lot, like too many items in it, but there's some value there. Those giant rats, they seem to accumulate a lot. So anyway, we're going to go off, and things are going to go pretty much as we're planning, at least for the beginning of this. So Egil slips upstairs. There's only there's a handful of people maybe still staying in the inn. The tavern has pretty much been shut down, so those who are drinking aren't overly thrilled. They're not. So Egil has kind of grabbed his backpack on his way out. I'm just assuming Berham, who dropped his backpack at the top of the stairs, also has or the kitchen right at the top of the stairs, has also grabbed his backpack. Egil kind of picks the backpack up, shoulders it on one shoulder, and kind of takes a look out of the kitchen. He's keeping an eye out for anybody around. And we're going to go to our class here, because he's going to attempt to move silently up the stairs and to the door of Martha's room. So we're going to attempt to move silently. Sorry, I need to bring my dice back here. His move silently, because his first level is only 20%. He is not silent at all. Egil makes a lot of noise, kind of clumping up the stairs. He hits a lot of squeaky stairs. He's really not quiet at all. Is there anyone in the inn, someone with a room who might poke their head out? So we're going to go to the fate chart to figure that out. I should make some session notes here. Alright, cool. Actually, I'm going to also just do this because we know this is the 27th. So, he's failed to move silently. That's fine. Now, let's see if there's possibly anybody who's going to even investigate this. I'm going to say it's very unlikely, because who cares? People probably, anybody in the room is used to, moving around, but maybe they'll take a look. So with that in mind, we're going to go very unlikely, chaos factor is 6, so it's a 35% chance of a yes here. That's an 83. Nobody bothers to check, so even though he fails to move silently, he's kind of creeping along, trying to, slowly, with his steps. He gets to the room, he kind of looks up and down the hall, keeping an eye out for any potential issue here. He slips his backpack off and lets it come to rest on the floor, and he kind of crouches down once again, taking a look around. and he opens up the backpack and he reaches deep into the bottom, and he pulls out his thieves' tools. He kind of, it's like just like a leather, you know, a small leather small leather roll, which he quickly kind of unrolls, pulls a couple of picks out of, looks around again, nobody, and goes, you know, slips the picks into the lock and starts to fumble around. I'm not going to when the game was never really clear as to kind of how many chances you could take, but I'm basically going to say if you can't open it, you can't open it, right? I'm not going to allow multiple chances here at one time until there's another reason for him to be trying. So he spends the next few minutes trying to unlock the door. He has a 15, which is a 99. Nope, the lock is not budging. He can't get the right angles. He can't get the tumblers. There's maybe too many tumblers for him to deal with. And he finally pulls the lock picks back, takes another look around, slips them back into the thieves' tool, you know, into the leather roll, rolls them back up, throws them into the backpack, and quickly stands up and returns to his room. So we're just going to make some notes there. Alright, he's going to fix a couple little errors here. Okay. Once in the room, though. Now, as he's going in the room, is this when Berham and the authorities return? Berham, Anna, and the authorities. I'm going to just give it a 50-50 chance, which we're at chaos factor is 6. Yep. As he returns to the room, he hears Berham and Anna return with others. His opportunity to slip into that room may be over, but maybe not. He goes into his room and he shuts the door and locks it, and he goes to the window and opens the shutters and looks out. Is there anyone out there who might see him if he decided to kind of crawl out and climb himself across to Martha's window? Is there anyone who might be looking? I'm just going to say it's a 50-50. 55, which is a yes. So 65 and under in this case. Alright, so we'll fix things again here. So no. He opens the shutter, looks out, and there are multiple people in the streets. With the call for law enforcement, you know, for the local guard has piqued people's interest, and there's too many people. It's morning, right? It's the morning. There's lots of people around. There's too many people around. He can't risk attempting it. So whatever valuables Martha might possess that he would be interested in, he's going to have to let them go. So he decides, nope, gives up there. You know, kind of closes the shutters again, and now kind of slips out. You know. Slips out of the room, locks the door behind him, and goes downstairs where Anna and Berham are discussing with the couple of local law enforcement. Call them local town guards. I think that kind of makes some sense. How many town guards are there? Let's just call it a D4. 2 town guards. I'm thinking one of which has to be the captain of the guard. Now we need a name. I'm going to now just kind of shift over to Xanathar's Guide again. We'll use this to generate a name. First of all, is the captain of the guard male. We're just going to roll 50-50. Yep, captain of the guard is male. Is the captain of the guard human? Actually, I'm just going to say yes, absolutely the captain of the guard is human. That is pretty much a certainty here. Let's go with a Celtic male name here. Let's do that. Rolling on our tables, we end up with 69. Sorry. At 69, we have Iden. So we have Captain Iden, human, male. Sorry, Captain of the Port Cyric Town Guard. What do we have? So, do we need to know much about Captain Iden at the moment? Let's find out a little bit anyway. So we'll go to Un. It'll at least give us some general ideas here. So we'll kind of go with the NPC modifiers, and we'll just kind of roll here. First modifier is going to be 43. Titled. Sure. And the noun to go along with that, which we know he's a guard, so 88. Professor. Now, we're just going to scrap that. We know he's titled. Just using a titled law enforcer. So this is someone I think is very proud of his job and takes it seriously. Very seriously, I believe. Let's see here. Is there any other information we should maybe pull from? Okay, motivations. Let's go with motivations. We'll roll on the Un table again. 72. Suggest. And on the now. 21. Suggest the wealthy. That's a weird motivation. Suggest the wealthy. What does this mean? Suggest the wealthy. So, suggest. Is he suggesting something to the wealthy? He is, he also takes great pride in his consultations with the few, wealthy people of the town. Right? There we go. We kind of have some ideas about our captain of the guard here. Okay, so Captain Iden is speaking with Berham and Anna when Egil steps down, and Iden kind of Iden with one of his guard employees here. Well, one of the other guards kind of gives Egil the side eye, and Anna goes, "He's one of the adventurers who helped me." And they're kind of explaining the whole situation, and Iden and his other guard here eventually take kind of the gist of the idea, and then they go down into the basement to take a look. Um, After a few hours, they kind of, well, not even a few hours, because we're talking D&D kind of law enforcement here, investigations. They pop down into the basement. Egil waits with Berham. Anna pours all three of them, mugs of ale, and eventually they return, indicating that they're going to they're going to remove the bodies, and they can consider this kind of closed. Berham stands up. But wait, my good sir, my dear friend deserves a proper burial. I would like to take possession of the body. Captain Ida just kind of shrugs his shoulders, and he says, absolutely, she's all yours. Whatever, basically whatever you want to do. So no problem. So Berham will take possession of the body. Then Anna kind of, once the town guards have moved on, Anna then broaches the subject of her room. And what about her her room and her belongings? And Berham says, don't worry, I will make sure everything is returned to her family. And that's kind of where I think we end that scene. Make that clear. Great. Okay. Scene number 5. Our chaos factor. Where our hero's kind of in control. You know what? I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking they didn't really have control of the scene necessarily, but they weren't out of control of it. I think we can kind of let the chaos factor fall back to 5. I think that kind of makes some sense. Now, I wanted to kind of just take a look at a couple things here quickly. One is I used a town generator to generate Port Cyric, and I'm kind of happy with the way this turned out. So it's on a coast. I've created a bit of a legend here. So if we zoom in, we got the dock ward here. We've got the market back here. It generated the names of a few other things, a few other areas, no problem, I don't really care. The legend number 1 on here is the Lone Rose Inn, which is here. Meanwhile, I also threw in Egil's rowboat, which we've kind of just popped down here. I think I even added that to his character sheet. Yeah, because I think if we go into inventory, we now have a rowboat for him. So the rowboat is there in our, with 2 oars. I don't know what the encumbrance would be for the oars. I'm not too worried about it, as a rowboat has plenty of encumbrance. But yeah, so we're gonna kind of use this, and I don't think we're done with Port Cyric yet. I really don't. I think there's more to Port Cyric for the adventurers. Now, I wanted to kind of look here because I want to get a sense as to kind of where we're going to go next. Because we do not really have much here. So we're going to end that scene. We do have a new character to add to the list here. We have... Oops, sorry, what do we have here? I think I need to bump that up. We have Captain, I already forgot his name, Iden. Port Cyric Town Guard. Cool. That does not quite seem to be the right... Apparently I can't do that. Doesn't matter. These things are all the same or not. I'm going to admit I'm not sure I really care that much. There we go. So we'll just kind of put that. Captain Iden of the Port Cyric Town Guard. We'll just kind of pop him into the characters list because we do have him as a new character. I don't think we really have anybody else to add. Threads list. I think we do kind of have a new thread that I want to deal with because Egil still wants to continue adventuring, but he needs more. He definitely feeling at this point he needs some more adventuring buddies for the party. Recruit additional party members. I think that's a good thread to have here. So we got still exploring Port Cyric to find an adventure. And we have recruit additional party members. I'm just going where I think we can kind of assume that Berham is likely to stay on. Through the evening, I think before we kind of finish things off here or prep for the next scene, through the evening, Egil and Berham discuss the day, Martha's death, oops, and the potential for further adventures. Is Berham up for it? Yeah, I mean, I created the character. He is now a player character. The two decide to work together to work together for adventuring. And there, I believe, is where I'm going to actually kind of call this particular session. I think that's a good place to stop. I want to kind of think things through, and I want to kind of check a couple things regarding adventure generation. I think I need something a little bit more to kind of help flesh things out a little bit. I don't have a lot of threads. That's kind of part of the issue. So I'm going to take a break here and come back when I'm ready for the next session. All right, take it easy.